Hello, good day everyone. You're welcome back to class today. I want to believe that we've learned a lot of things this morning. All right, so I gave you some exercises to do this morning. So I want to see your answer on the comment section. So you can drop your answer. Let me see how far you're able to go for these two questions we have here. All right, so don't forget, you can send a link to your friends that the class have started. Okay, all right, so now let's wait for your answers. So if you have your answer to this question, you can drop it in your comment section now. I drop it there. All right, and don't forget, if you are just joining the class, now try and invite your friends. Let them know the class have started. Okay, you can send the link to them. Right, so that we go into today's class. Okay, I can only see one person with an answer. That's Shominde Yetunde. Okay, so that is the first answer. Now, what of the second one? Okay, Abib Bello. Yes, can I have your answer? You are welcome to the class. Drop your answer. Okay, I think I can now see Abib's solution. X plus 6 times 6x minus 1. Which number is that? Is it number 1 or number 2? Please specify your specify the answer the question you're answering. Okay, that is number 1. All right. Okay, Agbode, can we have your answer? You're welcome to class. Okay. We don't really have much time. Now let us see. Let us solve the problem together. And please don't forget, try and inform your friends that the class has started, because I can see nine people on the platform now. So try and share this video with your friends. Let them know the class has started. So share the link with them. All right. Okay. So now let us do the correction to that question. So we have to factorize x squared plus 4x minus 6. Now when you look at this, we have x squared plus 4x minus 6. Now the first question is so simple, all right? Now when you look at this quadratic expression, we see that it's not factorizable. It's not factorizable. Why? Now look at it. The sum is 4. That's the coefficient of x. That's 4. And the product is minus 6. Right? So now what we are saying now is you give me two numbers such that when you multiply the numbers together you have minus 6, and when you add the numbers together you have plus 4. Now I told you the numbers must be factor of the product. So factors of minus 6 are minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 6. All right. Now combining them, I can have it as minus 1 and 6 and 6, minus 2 and 3, minus 3 and 2, minus 6 and 1. All right. So these are the possible pairs you can have. And there's none of them will be added together to have 4. Because if you add this and this together, you have 5. Add this and this together, you have 1. And this gives you 1, okay, minus 1 rather. Now this and this gives you minus 5. So none of them will give you plus 4, right? So this question now is not factorizable. So not factorizable. So not factorizable. So now that means that there are some quadratic expression that you cannot easily factorize. So it means that we may need to adopt another method of simplifying quadratic expression. So by the time we get there, we are going to explain how we can deal with this type of question. All right. Okay. So now let's look at the second one. All right. Let me check. Maybe we have somebody with the answer to the second one. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone with answer to the second one. All right, so now let's just go ahead and solve the problem. And now let's look at the second one. All right, so we have 6x squared. 6x squared plus, this is 35x. 35x minus 6. So you have to factorize this. Now, please don't forget, always remember to tap the like button. Once you get to the class, tap the like button. All right. Okay, so if you have not done that, do that now. Right. Now, we have to factorize this. How do we factorize these quadratic expressions? Quadratic expression. Now, the first thing is to look for your sum and product. Sum is what? Sum is the coefficient of x, that is 35. And your product is 6 times minus 6. So product will be what? That is minus 36. All right. So now we need two numbers such that when you multiply the numbers together, it's going to give you minus 36. And when you add the two numbers together, it will give you 35. Now, can you tell me what would that number be? Because I didn't see anyone with the answer to this problem. So can you tell me now, so what is going to be the two numbers such that when you multiply together, you have minus 36, and when you add together, you have 35. Now, can you quickly do that now and tell me what you have as your answer? Because that will help us now to divide 35x into two parts. All right. Okay, so now let's wait for your answers. Now let me see. Who are the people giving us the answer? Yes, okay, I can see Abib. Yes, that's good. All right, who else? Okay, okay. All right, show me they have dropped an answer. All right, no problem. We are going to solve the problem. By the time we solve, we'll see what she have, if it's actually correct. Okay, so I can see Uber now. We have 36 and 1. Okay, this Mutiat Adebayo. We have minus x and plus 36. All right, now let's wait for others, please. Let's be fast about it. Yes. Okay, okay, because of our time, we don't really have much time. All right, now I told you now that the two numbers must be factors of minus 36. So what are the factors? Now, you look at it. We have 1 and 36. When you multiply this and this together, it's going to give you plus 36. But what we have there is minus 36. So we can do it this way. Minus 1 and 36 and 1 and minus 36. So look at it. Now, when you add this and this together, we have plus 35. When you multiply this and this together, you have minus 36. So the two numbers are this and this. So this one will not work for you. Okay. So you can see I'm going straight to the point. I didn't consider 6 and 6 because there's no how I'm going to add 6 and 6, either positive or negative, together that will give me 35. So I won't consider that. So I look for a number that is very close to my sum. All right. So the two numbers are minus 1 and plus 36. So any number you are suggesting, you try and see the validity of the number. If it satisfies what we have here, you can see when you say minus 1 times 36, you have minus 36. And when you add minus 1 and 36 together, you have 35. Okay, so that means the two numbers are minus 1 and plus 36. So that means this expression turns to 6x squared plus 36x minus x minus 6. Okay, now when you look at this, what's the common factor? The common factor here is what? 6x. 6x is common, so we have 6x. So when you divide this by 6x, we have x plus, divide this by 6x, you'll be having 6, because x cancel x and 6 goes in at 36. That is what? That is 6. All right, now let's look at the next pair. Now, what's the common factor here? That is minus 1. So you have x plus 6. Now look at it now. By the time you open the bracket, you have what you have here. Now, minus 1 times x, you have minus x. Minus 1 times plus 6, you have minus 6. All right? So now the common factor here is x plus 6. So you can bring that out. You have x plus 6. Now you are left with this. So you have 6x minus 1. So this is going to be the answer to the second part of the question. So now, I don't know, show me there, maybe this is the answer you have here. So if that is the answer she gave us, so I want us to put our hands together for her. If not, so that applause should be given to me alone. All right, so this is the answer to this problem. All right, so how do we award marks to this type of question? Now, for writing this statement here, we have M1, and for getting the answer, we have accuracy mark. Now, for this one, not factorizable, we have A1. So 3 marks altogether. All right, so that is the solution to the assignment given in the morning. All right, now let's move down to another question. Now you have to factorize 2x squared plus 5x plus 2, and the second one 5x plus 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. Okay, so now for the sake of those that did not join us this morning, I'm going to explain the first one. So I'm going to solve this one, and after doing this, I will leave this for you to try. Okay, so now let us do the first one together and see how you expected to solve this type of problem. All right, please, if you have not tapped the like button, please kindly do that. And also, if you are watching, you have not subscribed, ensure you subscribe. Click the subscription button. All right, now let's look at it. Now we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. Now the first thing is to identify the sum and products. Now the sum is the coefficient of x here, which is minus 5. So you write sum is minus 5. And what of the products? The product is the coefficient of x squared here times the number we have here. So that's going to be 2 times 2, that is 4. Now, after getting this, you see, why are we doing this? We want to divide this middle term into two parts. And there are several ways of writing minus 5x. I can write minus 5x as minus 4x minus 1x, or as a minus 6x plus x. So there are several ways of writing it. So, but there's only one way we can do it that is going to suit what we need it for. All right. So now this is the procedure. After writing out the sum and products, the next thing is to look for two numbers such that when you multiply the numbers together, you have 4. When you add the two numbers together, you have minus 5. Hope you get that now. All right. So now we now begin to think of the numbers. Those numbers are factors of the product. So that's going to be like a guide for you. All right. So now begin to think of the number. So I have, I can have 2 and 2. I can have 4 and 1. All right. So now look at this. If I multiply this and this together, we have plus 4. Multiply this and this together, I'm going to have 4. All of these numbers now, they are factor of 4. But then, if I add this and this together, I can't have minus 5. So what I'm going to do now is that let me introduce minus minus here, minus minus. So I have negative 2, negative 2, negative 4, negative 1. Let me see. When you look at this, if you multiply this and this together, you have 4. Minus 4 times minus 1, that's plus 4, because minus times minus is plus. Now when you add this and this together, you have minus 5. Minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5. So that means the two numbers are minus 4 and minus 1. If you add these two together, it's going to give you minus 4, and which is not the sum. So that means we discard this, right? So now this expression here now turns to 2x squared. So just write this as the coefficient of x. So minus 4x minus 1x minus 1x plus 2. You can see now if you add this minus 4x and minus x together, you have minus 5x. So you have not done anything new. All right, now, so the next thing now is to look at the first pair you have here. What is going to be the common factor or the ACL? Now, what can go here and can also go here? So 2 can go here, 2 can go here, x can go here, x can. So that means the common factor is going to be 2x. So you write out the 2x. Now, when you divide this by 2x, you'll be left with 1x. All right. So divide this by 2x. You'll be left with minus 2. Because 2 we cancel, minus 4 we have minus 2. So x cancel x. All right. Now look at this. What is the common factor? The common factor is going to be minus 1. I told you this morning that the sign here is very important. So that means, of course, now you can say the common factor is 1, but it's always good you use the sign we have here. So you have minus 1. So if I factor out minus 1 from minus x, so I'll be left with x. So you factor minus from plus here. So that means we'll be having minus. Now look at it. If I open the bracket, I'll see how what I have here. So minus 1 times x, I have minus x. Minus 1 times minus 2, that is plus 2. Okay, so now what is the next thing? You factor out this. So you have x minus 2. You are left with 2x minus 1. Okay, now that is going to be the answer to the problem. Right, now let's look at the second one. So I said I'm going to give you time to do that. So kindly do this within 2 minutes and let me have your answer in the comment section. All right. Okay, so please, you have like a minute to go. Solve the second question and let's have your answer. Okay, Ajayi have dropped an answer. Is it for the first one or the second one? Okay, I think that should be for the first question. We have done that. Answer to the second one. Okay, I'm waiting for your answer. Anyone? Factorize 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. Okay, I can see Muiz Banjo. First person to drop an answer, we have x minus 5 or x 5x minus 2. Okay, all right, this is Agbonde. We have x plus 3 and 5x minus 2. Okay, show me there we have x minus 3 times 5x minus 2. Yes, Uber have an answer here. We have 5x plus 2 times x minus 3. Yes, I'm waiting for others. Okay. Somebody is complaining that he can't see the question very well. So the second question is 5x squared plus 3x minus 6. So by now you should have finished now. 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. Okay. All right. Okay, so by now we should have finished. All right, so now let's look at the problem together and let's see what we have before we move to the next thing. So we have 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. So how do we factorize this? You look for the sum and products. That's all. So what's going to be the sum? Yes, the sum. Are you dropping the sum there? What's the sum? Coefficient of x, and that is what? Plus 13. So that is plus 13. So what is going to be the product? What is the product? Yes, that is what? Minus what? Minus 30. So you just use this, the coefficient here, use it to multiply what we have here. That's going to give you minus 30. 5 times minus 6. So you have minus 30. All right, don't forget, our objective is to divide this into two parts. 13x, we want to cut it into two parts. All right, so now we come here, we look for two numbers such that when you multiply the two numbers together, you have minus 30. And when you add the two numbers together, you have plus 13. So now I need you to tell me the two numbers. What are the two numbers? The two numbers will be factor of minus 30. I told you. So now, and while I'm looking for the factors, I have to consider the addition as well. That will help me to move faster. So, of course, now to get 30, I can have 6 and 5. And when I multiply these together, I will have 30. But I will not consider this because the addition of this will give me 11. So there's no how it's going to work for me. All right, now, so let me begin to think of another set of numbers. So maybe 15 and 2. Look at it. I think this one is going to work for me. So if I handle it well, all right. So now let's see. We have plus 13 and minus 2, or you have minus 15 and plus 2. So let's look at this and let's look at this. Now, look at this now. Minus 15 plus 2. When you multiply these two numbers together, you have minus 30. But when you add together, you have minus 13. Minus 13. What we have here is plus 13. So that means this is going to be these two together. You have minus 30. When you add together, just like you have a debt of 2 and you have 15 with you. So once you pay the debt of 2, you are left with 13. So that means this expression turns to 5x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 6. So that is what we have. All right. So from there, we can now look for the common factor or the HCF for these two terms. So what's going to be the common factor? That is going to be what? 5x. So 5x. So we have 5x. So when you divide this by 5x, so you have x. When you divide this by 5x, we have 3. Okay, let's check maybe what we have here is correct. So 5x times x, we have 5x squared. 5x times 3, we have plus 15x. So that means it's correct. So what's the common factor? Don't forget, the common factor must have negative because what we have here, the first time here has negative. All right, so you have minus 2. Minus 2 can go here, minus 2 can also go here. All right, so when you divide this by minus 2, minus 2x divided by minus 2, you have x. Minus 3 divided by minus 2, you have plus 3. Okay, so now the common factor here is plus x plus 3. So you have x plus 3. You have this one left, so you have 5x minus 2. So this is going to be the answer to the problem. All right, so you can always cross-check whether your answer is correct. You can expand. Once we expand this answer, you will get this expression back. All right, so now what we have been doing so far is a quadratic expression. So we want to move down to quadratic equation. You see the difference between quadratic expression and the quadratic equation is that one is we are considering two variables, or let me say we are considering two parameters. Now if I write 2x squared plus 3x plus 1, now this is just an expression. I'm not making any comparison, but immediately I equate it to a number, let's say 5. Now it becomes an equation. Initially is an expression. So what we do to expression is we simplify expression. We just break it down. But look at an equation. Now I'm equating this side, the left hand side, to the right hand side. All right. So this is an equation and it's a quadratic equation. Okay. So now what we do to quadratic equation is we solve quadratic equation. You look for the unknown. Right. So here now what we can do here now is to solve for x in this equation. All right. Now let us look at one or two problems under quadratic equation. Okay, now let's look at the questions we have on the board. You have to solve the following. Now these are quadratic equations. All right. By the time you expand this, you will see it clearly that it has the power of 2. So you have to solve the following quadratic equation. So now let's look at the first question. We have x minus 2 times x plus 7 equals to 0. Now look at this equation. Now we have two parameters now multiplying each other. Now this times this equals to 0. Now whenever you are multiplying two numbers together and the result is 0, it's either this first one is 0 or the second one is 0 or the two are 0. It's not possible for me to multiply two non-zero and have 0. If I have 4 times 7, I can't have 0. It's not possible. It's only if this one is 0, can have 0, or I have 7 here and this one is 0. So whenever you are multiplying two numbers together and your result is 0, so one of them must be 0. So because of that, it's either this is 0. That means it's either x minus 2 is 0 or x plus 7 is 0. Okay, so now from here you can add 2 to both sides. so that you eliminate this minus 2. So you have x minus 2 plus 2 equals to 2. So I'm adding 2 to both sides. So this will cancel this. So you have x equals to 2. So now look at the second one here. I will subtract 7 from both sides. So I have x plus 7 minus 7 equals to minus 7. Okay, so plus 7 cancel minus 7. So we have x equals to minus 7. So that means the answer to this problem is that x equals to 2 or x equals to minus 7. All right, so that's the first question. Now let's look at the second question. We have a times a plus 3 equals to 0. Now again, we have two numbers multiplying each other. Now we have a multiplying itself with a plus 3 and the result is 0. So it's either a is 0 or a plus 3 is 0. So we now have a is 0 or now you subtract 3 from both sides, or you say you move this 3 to this side and you have a equals to negative 3. So these are the answers. Now let's look at the third one. See, we have x minus 3 raised to the power of 2 equals to 0. Now, this is the same thing as x minus 3 times x minus 3 equals to 0. Okay? We are also multiplying to have 0. So x minus 3 is 0 or x minus 3 is 0. All right, so you just have x equals to 3 twice. So if you add 3 to both sides, so you'll be having x equals to 3. Or you move this minus 3 to this side, you have plus 3. So x is 3. So the same thing also applies to this. So x equals to 3 twice. All right, so that is the answer to the problem. Now let's look at another question. So So 4y squared plus 5y minus 21 equals to 0. All right, so how do we solve this problem? Okay, you have to solve this quadratic equation. Now, when you look at this problem, you will say that the left-hand side is a quadratic expression. All right, so we are going to be making use of factorization method to solve this problem. Now, let's factorize the left-hand side. Okay, let's do that together. So we have, we need to divide this into two parts. Okay, so you look for the sum and product. So what is going to be the sum? So sum is what? Sum is the coefficient of y, that is plus 5. And what is going to be the product? 4 times minus 21, that is minus 84. Okay, so now the next thing now is to look for two numbers so that the multiplication is what? Is minus 84 and the addition is 5. What are the two numbers? Let's say we have minus 7 times minus 7 and 12. Okay, So when you multiply these together, you have minus 84. So when you add this and this together, you have 5. All right. So now that means this expression or this left-hand side turns to 4y squared minus 7y plus 12y minus 21 equals to 0. All right. This equation here is the same thing as what we have here. Now let's look at the first pair. Look for the common factor. What is common? The common factor is what? Y. So we factor out y, we are left with 4y minus 7. Now look at this. What is common here? Now 3 can go in 12, 3 can also go in minus 21. So you bring out 3, you have 3, and you have 4y. When you divide this by 3, you have 4y minus 7 equals to 0. All right. So now when you look at this, this is common. So just bring out this. You have 4y minus 7, and you are left with y and 3. So we have y plus 3 equals to 0. All right. Now we now have two numbers multiplying each other to have 0. So it's either 4y minus 7 is 0 or y plus 3 equals to 0. Okay, so now let's add 7 to both sides. So if you do that, we're having 4y equals to 7, or you move this, or you say you move this to this side. So or y equals to minus 3. So here you can divide both sides by 4. So you have y equals to 7 over 4, or y equals to minus 3. So you can break this one down. You have y equals to 1 whole number 3 over 4, or y equals to minus 3. Okay, so that is the answer to this question. All right, now let's move down to another interesting question. Okay, solve the following. The first one, we have m squared equals to 16, while the second one, we have 2x squared equals to 3x plus 5. Okay, so now let's solve these together, and let's see how you are expected to solve it. Now, the first one, m squared equals to 16. Now, let us subtract 16 from both sides. Okay, so we now have m squared minus 16 equals to 0. Or you move this 16 to this side, you have minus 16. Okay, so now I'm going to be making use of principle of difference of two squares, because this one is a perfect square, and what I have here is also a perfect square. So now let me rewrite this equation. I have m squared minus 4 squared equals to 0. Right? Making use of difference of two squares, when you have a raised to the power of 2 minus b raised to the power of 2, the answer will be a minus b times a plus b. Okay, I'm going to be applying that here. So my a is m, while my b is 4. Okay, can we apply that together now? So using this format. All right, so I'll have m minus 4 m plus 4 equals to 0. Hope you get that. All right, so now we have two numbers multiplying each other to have 0. Okay, so it's either m minus 4 equals to 0 or m plus 4 equals to 0. So from here, you move this minus 4 to this side. You have m equals to 4 or m equals to minus 4. So that is the answer to the first question. Now let us look at the second one. The second question, we have 2x squared equals to 3x plus 5. So now we are going to express this quadratic equation in the standard form. So this will turn to 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals to 0. So that is what we have. So now you can locate the sum and product. So what is going to be the sum? The sum is minus 3 and product is what? Don't forget the coefficient of 2 here, of x squared here, use it to multiply this. So that's going to be 2 times minus 5. That's minus 10. Okay, so you need two numbers such that when you multiply together, you have minus 10, and then when you add together, you have minus 3. So what are the two numbers? You have minus 5 and then minus and plus 2. Okay, minus 5 and plus 2. So if I say minus 5 times 2, you have minus 10. Now if you add together, you have minus 3. Okay, so now that means this equation turns to 2x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Hope we can see that. All right, so now you look for the common factor here. What is the common factor? What can go here and can also go here? That is x. So when you divide this by x, you have 2x minus 5. Now the common factor here is 1. So you have plus 1, 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Okay, so now let's factor out this. So you have 2x minus 5 times x plus 1 equals to 0. So what is the next thing to do here? Right? You equate this to 0 and also this to 0. So you have 2x minus 5 is 0 or x plus 1 is 0. Right? So if you do that, the next thing is to add 5 to both sides of the first equation. So when you add 5 to this, or you move minus 5 to this side, the sign changes. So you have 2x equals to 5 or x equals to minus 1. So you have x equals to 5 over 2 or x equals to minus 1. So you can divide both sides. You can simplify this. You have x equals to 2 whole number 1 over 2 or x equals to minus 1. Right? So that is the answer to the problem. All right, so I'm going to give you your own. I want to believe you are ready for your question. All right, now let's try this. Let's try this. Try this problem and let's have your answer in the comment section. So 6x squared equals to 7x plus 20. Okay, so solve 6x squared equals to 7x plus 20. Now, can you do this within 3 minutes and let me have your answer in the comment section. So if you are just joining this platform, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also make sure you tap the like button. All right, so now let's quickly do this one and let's see what you have. Okay, can we try this problem? Let's let's try it. Okay, I can see Uber's result here. X is 5/2 or x equals to 4/3. Let's wait for others. Okay, I've got there. I can see x equals to 5/2, x equals to 4/3. I'm waiting for Ajayi's answer. Okay, this is another one, Victor. We have 5/2 and 4/2. Okay, that has been retracted. Okay, show me there we have x equals to 5/2 and x equals to 4/3. Okay, so you have less than a minute to go. All right, Ajaya have finally dropped our answer. We have x equals to 5/2, x equals to 4/3. The same thing, Victor, 5/2 and 4/3. Yes, Oluwatosin, what's your answer? Okay, the time is not on our side. Okay, while you are solving, let us find solution to this problem. All right, I want to commend those of you that have done one or two things. That's a very good one. Just like I used to tell you, mathematics, you just must make an effort. Make sure you do something. Either you get the answer or not. You are in the process of becoming a guru in mathematics. So you just cannot leave a question undone. Doing it is moving to the solution of the problem. So everybody must always participate. So now for those of you that have participated, that have dropped an answer, that's a very good one. So let us see, maybe your answer is going to be the correct answer. All right, now let's look at the question together. Now you have 6x squared equals to 7x plus 20. So how do we go about this? We have 6x squared. Now you are going to rearrange solution. Rearrange. So this comes to this side, we have minus 7x. This moves here, we have minus 20 equals to 0. Okay? Now, what's the next thing to do? You look for the sum and product, right? So what is going to be the sum? Sum is what? That's the coefficient of x. That is minus 7. And your product is what? The coefficient of x squared times minus 20. And that gives you what? Minus 120. Is that not? Okay. So now, can you now tell me what are the two values such that when you multiply together, you have minus 120, and when you add together, you have minus 7. Okay. Now, can you tell me? Yes. Okay. So now let me see. For those of you that were able to drop your answer, by now you should know the two numbers. Yes, yes. Nobody is dropping. Two numbers such that when you multiply together, you have minus 120, and when you add, you have minus 7. So what are the two numbers? Yes. Drop your answer in the comment section. Yes. Is there anybody dropping? Anyone? Okay, I can see the very good one. Somebody said, okay, I got there, we have 8 and minus 15. Yes, another person. Another person. Okay, so Ajayi, I can see plus 8 and minus 15. Yes. I can see another Ajayi, 8 and minus 15. Okay. Yes, show me the 8 and minus 15. I can see 40 and 3 from show me the. Okay. Femi, I can see 8 and minus 15. Lolade, 8 and minus 15. Victor, 8 and minus 15. Okay, now let us look at the answers we have here. All right, 8 and minus 15. 8 minus 15. I think somebody also give us another one. But let's look at this. I think this one is common. So when you multiply this and this together, you have what? You have minus 120. So now let's add this and this together. You'll be having minus 7. So it's very easy. Any numbers you are picking, you can verify. Just multiply together and see, maybe you are going to have the products. And you also add to confirm you have the sum. All right. And don't forget, I told you to get this number is very easy. Just look for factors of 120. And as you're looking for factor of 120, also consider your sum. Now, the pair you're going to pick, that the sum will give you minus 7. So you begin to look for it as you're looking for factors of minus 20. All right, now, so now this equation now turns to 6x squared minus 15x plus 8x minus 20 equals to 0. Okay, now what is changing in this equation is just this minus 7x, which is the same thing as minus 15x plus 8x. You add this together, you're going to be having minus 7x. All right, now let's look at the first pair. What is the common factor? That is 3x. 3 can go in 6, it can also go in 15. X can go here, x can also go. So we have 3x. So when you divide this by 3x, what do you have? You have 2x. Okay, so you divide this by 3x, what do you have? You have minus 5. Okay, now let's look at the next one. What's the common factor here? That is 4. 4 can go here, 4 can also go here. So you have plus 4. So when you divide this by plus 4, what do you have? You have 2x. Divide this by plus 4, you have minus 5 equals to 0. Now the common factor is what we have in the bracket. So you have 2x minus 5 and you have 3x plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, so it's either 2x minus 5 equals to 0 or 3x plus 4 equals to 0. Can you say that? All right, so the next thing now is to add 5 to both sides. So you have 2x equals to 5 or 3x equals to minus 4. All right, when you subtract 4 from both sides, so this is what you're going to have. Or you say move plus 4 to this side. Once it crosses the equality sign, the sign changes. Okay, so now here you divide both sides by 2. So you have x equals to 5 over 2 or 3x. You have x equals to minus 4 over 3. Okay, I discovered that a lot of people stopped here. That is not the final answer, right? So the final answer now is going to be 2 whole number 1 over 2 or x equals to minus 1 whole number 1 over 3. Hope I didn't disappoint some of you. All right, so this is going to be the answer. All right, so whenever you have improper fraction, make sure that you express it in mixed fraction. Very simple. I know you know it. All right, so now those of you that got the correct answer, if you have this, you have tried. So I want you to give yourself a round of applause. That's a very good one. You are brilliant. So, and you are going to give me a round of applause because I got the final answer, not you. So a lot of you have this as your answer. So this is my own answer. All right, so give me that round of applause now. Okay, so I'm going to be rounding up now. But I will not leave without giving you something to do against the next class. Now let us look at this question together. Okay, before I give you the question, now let us see how do we award mark to this question. Now for writing this expression at the left hand side here, we have a method mark 1 for that. For factorizing to this level, we have another method mark. Okay, now for getting the correct answer, this one and not this. This and not this. Okay, you have A1, A1. So that means you can score yourself now. So a lot of people will get 2 over 4 because we have 4 marks altogether. All right, so we have 2 over 4. I want to believe in the next class, you are going to have 100%. You will not stop here. All right, so take note of this answer that you made, that you didn't simplify. Make sure you take note of it very well. It's against next class. All right, so now let me give you the question. solve solve 6x squared minus 7x plus 2. That's the first one, and the second one is this. Three x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Okay, now these are the problems. So solve this. So in the next class, which is going to be tomorrow, so I'm going to be solving this problem. So but before I give you the solution to the problem, you must drop your answer. All right, so thank you very much. I want to believe you guys enjoy the class and you've learned one or two things. So don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel, and also inform somebody around you in your neighborhood. Inform them about the class. So most especially students in SS1, SS2, and SS3 to join the class. So thank you very much. So have a nice time. Bye-bye.